Had to be Lewis Morgan. Freaking had to be Lewis Morgan. If only Robert Taylor could do something like that. You know what I'm saying, Jose?
Yeah. but what did he do instead?
Wait, Robert Taylor?
Yeah.
I mean, what did anyone do, really?
True.
Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast. My name is Julio, and I'm joined today by some friends and fellow Inter Miami fans, Dave, Chris, and Jose. And on behalf of the guys, we want to thank you for stopping by and joining us for episode 60 on the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. For those of you watching live on YouTube, thanks for stopping by, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons if you're enjoying the show. A huge shout out to our chief Heron Heads, Matias, Chow, Abu, Ava, and Marivi. Thank you so much for your generous support. And if you'd like to support us on Patreon or check out some of our new awesome merch, you will find a link in the description wherever you are listening. Inter Miami was embarrassed today, 4-0 against New York Red Bulls. It was a extremely frustrating watch, and it was very rainy, very wet out there, and nothing good really happened, in my opinion. So we'll dive into that. But what are your guys'? Yep, agreed. This happened because Dave shaved. When Dave was full of facial hair, we were winning 5-0, and now we're losing 0-4. So do with that what you will. So what are you guys? How are you guys feeling now? We're about 5 hours removed from the game. How are you guys feeling now?
I mean, I don't feel as shell shocked as I did before. I think after the final whistle, I just stared at the TV blankly for a while. I put on mute and I was just like, what just happened? But I mean, I felt going into the game, the one thing I was scared of was if Lewis Morgan went off. We were able to see him play for us a couple years ago, so I kind of had a feeling that this could happen, but you would expect us to punch back. And when Noah Allen creates the only chance for you, you know you're in trouble. You know you're in trouble. And I'm happy they took that goal off because we didn't deserve to even be on the score sheet. So,
yeah, I kind of did the same, David. I kind of just sat there and I went on with my day like as if I didn't even watch the game right now. Like nothing just happened. I just keep on going because that was just a punch right in the gut. But we saw a lot of things that didn't work. We saw some things that I think today showed us, obviously, things that we've been saying, where our strength is at. Our midfield is constantly our strength every game, and today we were missing some key pieces there. We were missing Redondo, we were missing Gomez, and it showed. It showed big time. We got killed there in the middle. We couldn't hold. We had possession, but not good possession. It was very, very poor possession, very poor passing. I mean, I don't know how many times, even though somehow our passing their accuracy percentage was very good, but it doesn't make any sense. It seemed like we were just turning the ball over constantly all the time. And yeah, we couldn't get my key to the game in our last episode was Gressel needs to be the man to get the ball into the box to Luis Suarez. He didn't do it. No one did it. No one could get the ball into the box to Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez was a non-factor today. We can't say the weather was to blame. We can't say the international play was to blame because both teams were affected by both of those things. So it's not fair to even bring those things up. It was just a sloppy match all the way around, from top to bottom, from Tata all the way to Noah Allen, let's say. Just everywhere. It was very, very poor, but we'll go into more details in a little bit.
Yeah, if I were to tell you guys, I'm going to run some numbers to you. If I were to tell you before the game started that the Red Bulls were going to have 1.23 XG, that possession, we were going to have 69% of the possession, that the Red Bulls had 16 fouls, we only had 6. The passing percentage for Miami was 83-74 for Red Bull. What would you kind of have thought? Like, would we have won that game, in your opinion? Yeah, just a yes or no, guys. David.
I don't know anymore, honestly.
Yes, Jose.
Thank you, my guy. God forbid I set it up, and all right, yeah. So all these things line. Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, all these things were lining up, but obviously the stats are not what the game told us, right? Very sloppy play. Actually, I gave a TikTok halftime live, like just of what I'm noticing, and none of the. Or I suggested, I was hoping Tata would listen to my halftime speech, and he didn't. So I was saying that we're basically giving the ball up way too many times. We are allowing uh, counters left and right up the gut. It wasn't even where we are the weakest. It was up the gut. Like typically we're worried about our wings, right? No, that wasn't even the issue. The issue was more for me, just up the gut, just a dumb pass by a midfielder, which is not going to be our normal issue, right? Because we had a lot of guys missing, but it's rough, man.
Nope. Can't hear you, buddy. Nope. Nothing at all.
Good stuff. Yeah, so none of that was happening. So when you have a team that you can't at all move the ball around in the midfield, you're not getting anything as far as your wing backs right now are just like they were non-existent. Honestly, Alba had a horrible game too. If we're being honest, like he had a horrible game. I don't know if it's just a something maybe Sunderland just wasn't he wasn't getting the ball in the right spots. He wasn't meshing with anyone. But that wasn't even the side that I was annoyed about. The side that I was annoyed about was Robert Taylor getting the ball up the pitch to Gresso and giving it to Campana. Campana blew the game. Now that Julio's muted, I can say it. This guy sucked today. I don't know what happened to him, but it's like I don't know what he made that one good play right before the half that he was able to keep it in bounds and he dribbled it around the guy and they had a scoring opportunity. That was beautiful, right? And I was like, at that point, I was like, let's take it easy. Let's go suave. We're gonna probably get it going. No, not the story, guys.
David, you're mute.
What do you think, Chris?
Currently have my dog barking next to me, so that's what I think about it.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Yeah. All right. So it's just going to be me doing the show today. Yeah. So when we were starting the match, let's start with the beginning. We were looking at a lot of high press by the New York Red Bulls. Basically, when you're getting a lot of high press from these guys, you're gonna end up being like passing erratically, like they were doing. By the way, we've always been getting high pressed erratically. The problem is that you're getting high pressed erratically, and you're just not gonna get anything get anything started.
Yeah, and it's something that we saw it from the preseason and even in the beginning of the season as well. The press, we do not do well with press, and unfortunately, the Red Bull are a team that press a lot. They're just historically known for that, and we saw it today from start to finish. They're pressing on us. We saw it from the miscued passes that we were making and the turnovers that we were making. But you know what? At the end of the day, the first goal, yes, they got through our back line, but the first goal, it was on Dos Santos. At the end of the day, Toto Aviles was there in front of the attacker, and he gave him a bad angle. And for some reason, I don't know what Dos Santos was doing, but he maybe overcompensated a little bit, left the back, the right side or his right side of the net wide open, and he was able to hit it from that bad angle. So, yeah, it was just a lot of bad, and that's a horrible way to start a match when you score in what was it, the first 2-3 minutes, whatever it was.
Yeah, literally in second and third minute.
Yeah, you're playing from behind at the get-go. So, I mean, I think
And we've
Dos
done that a
Santos had.
lot. We've done that a lot. It's not. This isn't. Unfortunately, this is a horrible habit that we're creating.
Yeah, exactly.
But and the problem is that like when you're having when you're already behind with all these guys missing, and you're in FIFA, the chemistry, the chemistry level, the percentages very low all around. Players out of position. Just I didn't know what Robert Taylor was trying to do the whole game. Everyone expects me to talk about him, and I don't want to, because it's like, okay, you're picking on him too much. All right, I get it, whatever. But it's just like you kind of hope that this guy can kind of do something, and then when you need him, which I'm gonna tell you though, I don't even blame Robert Taylor so much for this game that he had, because everyone sucked. Everyone sucked top to bottom, and at that point, when everyone sucks, it's because you got to start talking about the manager put you in a bad position to not succeed. They were not in a position to succeed today.
And you know what? Robert Taylor, in the beginning, he did okay for not really being his position. Obviously, I know he's played it in the past, but for not really being his position, he did all right. He was serviceable for most of the match. But like you said, I think we got to look at the manager here, the coach. Why was he even put in that position to begin with? We obviously saw a lack of attack, and maybe that was a reason why Campana and Suarez didn't work well off of each other.
I think that he wants Gressel in the midfield. That seems to be the place where he likes him best.
I think now's the time to do that. When we would have had the whole back line just completely untouched, right? Like we would have had it all perfectly sound.
But it wasn't like, let's be honest, it wasn't Robert Taylor wasn't the only issue in that back line.
No. It's what I'm not that, like I said, I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming the fact that you would have had some kind of continuity in the back line. And they were talking about it on the broadcast. They were saying these guys that's what they do. They press. They will press you hard. And from the get-go, they were pressing us hard. We took a poop, and we're like, okay, I don't know what to do here. We haven't, and the sad thing is that we've had a lot of progression in this, right? Obviously, like Chris was saying, we can't forget that we literally had two pivots that were out, right? Like we literally had Redondo, which has been outstanding for us. Then you throw in Gomez, which he's been also outstanding for us, and we were just okay, figured out now. You know what I mean?
The only issue is like it was 1-0 at the half, right?
Yes.
So the wheels just fell off in the second half. That is more of an indictment on coaching than anything else, because that means that the other team was able to make adjustments and we didn't. That I think is the issue. The starting formation, while it stunk, I don't think it's the end all be all of why we lost. I think that this one comes down to managerial process. We could have been okay with this thing, but I don't understand what we're doing. Every match we come out and it's these long balls that never work. And then in this match, more than any, we kind of stuck with it.
Who's doing that more than any of them?
The whole match was just bombing the ball forward, and Suarez is not beating anybody in a foot race, and Campana is not the fastest striker either. So I don't understand what they're playing. And then you have Robert Taylor, who's your fastest player on the pitch, in the back. So I don't know. Like the fastest guy in attack looked like Jordi Alba, who's playing left wing back. So
he had a bad game. He had a bad game.
It's because he's charged of taking over. He's playing out of position basically. You saw Chris was saying at one point he's all the way across the field. He feels like he has to do more when the team is doing less. It's a struggle when you watch things like that. And again, Robert Taylor at right back. He's not a right back, but I feel like this is probably the last time we'll ever see him at right back. We do have that.
You literally said that the last time.
The last time was last season.
Here we are.
It's a new season, Jose.
It's a new season, and now we have another right back. So we'll be able to rotate Cello. It doesn't make sense that he didn't put Gressel at right back for this one. I agree with you, but I still don't think that the fatal flaw of this match was Robert Taylor at right back.
No, but I do think his tinkering And AZ Rebellion actually said it as well. There's no adjustments. You're
Yeah,
down
that's
1-0, like you
that's the
said.
second half
And
issue. That's what I'm saying. They were able to
3-0.
score. They were able to score one goal the first half. When you allow 3 goals in the second half, and you don't have a response, that says that Tata either didn't have an answer or didn't care to have an answer, and I don't know which one's worse.
Or he was wet and he's like, I'm out.
We've talked about it before, though. He doesn't do adjustments in game. He's awful at in-game adjustments. He doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah, like you said, David, it looks like he came with a plan of these long balls because maybe he wanted to beat the press. But at some point, when you see it's not working, hey, time to scratch it out. You're only down 1-0 half. Scratch it out, get a new game plan out there, and do something different. But it didn't seem like he changed at all. Kept going with the same thing. He made some early subs as well, which I don't know how questionable it really was. They got some guys that have 0 playing time, took out some guys that have been playing a lot. So I don't know. I think it's a little questionable as well. There's still a lot of game left. But yeah, it definitely starts, like I said, it definitely starts at the top. It starts at the manager level. And
how surprising is it that when the game kind of got out of hand, I'm like, all right, time to sub off our older players. Let's get some youth in there just to take some mileage off of them. Suarez played the whole match. Busquets played the whole match. Alba played the whole match. Like, what are we doing here? I don't understand. Just have these guys just risk injury on a game that obviously is out of hand and doesn't mean anything. Just take them out. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's Tata. Like, again, I'm trying to defend him here just a little bit and trying to reason and rationale why he makes some decisions. But this one, there was several issues that need answering. I didn't watch his press conference. Did any of you guys watch it afterwards? And if not, anybody in the chat, did he justify anything, or it's
no? He was just frustrated. He was just frustrated. He says it's unacceptable, and like that's about it.
And he says it was very cold and it was wet, and he wanted to leave.
Both teams were cold. Both teams were wet. Both teams were missing people in international play. I think they were missing 6 people with Red Bull.
Yeah, Red Bull tried to postpone the match.
Like, come on, man.
I think he said something like, the best player in the world's out. I'm out.
On the bright side, here's the bright silver lining. It's just one match, and it's over. And we have other matches in the future with more players, and it hopefully won't be as cold and wet in the future. So that's good. And we'll have Cello maybe if his visa clears.
He already told Tata to relax, which I thought was interesting in wording. He said cógelo suave or something like that. And I was like, very interesting. You telling your manager, you haven't even gotten there, you're already telling him to relax.
So it's just one match, but I think there's some issues that this match sort of uncovered and gave to us unfiltered. When we don't have the midfield at full strength, you still see the glaring issues with the defense. Toto had an awful giveaway that led to maybe the second goal, I think. And the defense all around, Red Bulls was pressing all match. You can see that they still struggled tremendously to beat the press. Dos Santos, that first goal to me is unacceptable at the professional level. To allow that goal to go in from the angle, the speed that it was hit, it felt like he was just positioned really poorly. And any touch he would have gotten, because the ball was placed very well, any touch he would have gotten, it would have at least hit off the post rather than going in. That first goal by Dos Santos, just it made us chase the game, and we were just not up for it. Not up for it. You know, Chris mentioned the passing statistics and how we had 83% passing for the match. It didn't feel that way because in attack, all we were trying was long balls or intermediate passes, like you guys were saying, and it just didn't work. And then on the other side, you see Red Bulls doing these short passes, very accurate, very sharp, and they just diced us up. But it shows you weaknesses beyond just we had players out because of international break. Oh, the weather sucked. Like there are issues with this team, and some things are going to be fixed, like El Chelo coming in and Robert Taylor not having to play right wing back is going to be fixed. The 2 up front, I had been looking forward to seeing it all season. That didn't work. And you saw towards the later part of the game, Suarez was going out wide. We do not need him playing out wide, but it's just, again, overcompensating for lack of ideas. The incessant crossing to no one, like we're more talented than that. Like that's what you do when you don't have ideas.
Yeah, the buildup was the same thing. It was either a long ball through or smack it out wide and have Suarez race out wide and then do a crosser into usually no one. And it was just, you see it happening over and over and over. And you're like, at what point do you try something different? It's like, it's you're doing the same thing and expecting a different result, and it's just not going to happen. And I wonder if there was some kind of scouting report thing with Dos Santos, because didn't it feel like every single shot attempt was just a low-driven ball to the far post? It's like they know he's going to be over-aggressive and over-pursued to the near post, and then every shot was just opposite direction. And it's frustrating. And that, I hope this is the last of Jose saying that he wants Drake Calendar off, because this is the alternative.
They had 5 shots on target. They had 4 goals.
1.323 XG. Totally agree.
So that kind of leads to the angles were hard. They weren't easy shots that they were making. I mean, the first one, there was 2 at least that I can remember that were very tough angles, and it still went through. Dos Santos let them through. The defense wasn't great. I'm not saying that they were great, but the defense was still rough. I mean, the goalkeeping was still rough.
This is why I like Lewis. I mean, I always tell you guys I like Lewis Morgan. He was always a very fun player to watch. He would have these games that he would go off, and have these games where he go cold. Like you said, Julio is very Robert Taylor-esque. We just got the good Lewis Morgan. What are you gonna get? What are you gonna do? You know,
the wrong Lewis went off. We needed Luis Suarez to go off, not Lewis Morgan.
I lost so many bets on the parlays today, just assuming we were going to dominate, and we just and it's funny because David always gets on me because he says our followers hate when you talk about the Heat or anything. I'm happy that Carlos C said that about Eric Spoelstra, and Tata needs to take some tutoring from him. I agree.
I've given up that fight, Jose. Obviously, I think I did one the other day. I know Julio did like 4.
Julio's done multiple. So everyone's on that train already. So
I gave up. I fought the good fight. I fought the good fight, and I lost, and that's fine. I accept it.
Good, because we got to hold the rope better. You know, we got to burn the boats.
We got to weather the storm.
We got to weather the storm. You know,
literally today.
Yeah, we got to weather the storm. That would have been going today.
So
he could have said that in the halftime speech, and it would have totally made sense.
So speaking about halftime, something that I want to talk about is how Miami again came out late for the second half, and they came out to me really late. Like to me, I thought the ref was going to be like, "Well, if they're not here, we might as well just keep playing," because it was like an extended break before they started, and it's way cooler when they do that and they win the game. It's way less cool when they come out late and immediately allow a goal. How did you guys feel about the delay in coming out? Because I thought it was pushing the limit, and I think the league might step in.
If we're being honest,
they had a lot to talk about. That's what I think.
If we're being honest, I think I fell asleep at halftime, and I woke up and I was like, "Man, I was asleep for a while." And I looked and they hadn't come back yet, and I was like, "Oh, well, that's okay." So I didn't really feel the long period in between.
The camera kept going to the tunnel where they gather to walk out, and only Gressel was standing there and no one else was there.
Because he's German, right? Gressel's German. He's on time. The Germans, they're right on time.
Red Bulls team was out on the pitch, and a couple of the players that they showed, they looked so mad that Inter Miami was being disrespectful to that level.
Maybe it's a tactic where they're like, let's just leave them out there while it's raining and cold.
That's Tata's halftime tactic. He's like, I don't have anything else, but we're gonna come out later, and I hope that throws everybody off. And if that doesn't work, what do you want me to do? I don't know what to tell you.
It just pissed them off, you know. It pissed them off, and they got going really early and just didn't
backfired. Lewis Morgan said, "Not today, Miami," making me wait.
Outrageous, man. Yeah, to me it was I mean, I was scarfing down my lunch and also watching Jose live on TikTok at the Heron Heads. So I was like, oh, perfect. They came out just as I took the last bite of my sandwich, and I was like, great, now I can get back to angry tweeting this entire match. But it was like an extended period of time that they did not come out after Red Bulls had gone out. And I thought it was really pushing the limit.
Also, they started super late as well, right? I feel like this game in particular started way later than normal, right? Because it never starts on time, but this one it felt like it started 15 minutes past the hour.
I feel like MLS never starts on time. It's always like you could always expect 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
They run on Cuban time.
Yeah, definitely.
No, so if we can be that late at the first half, I don't see the big deal about being late in the second half.
I like that.
Okay,
No,
context.
I like that.
Jose always just points to the
You
side.
sure? Yeah,
No one
Jose
has
always
any
points as
idea.
if we see what he's pointing at.
Well, in the comments, it's like on my right hand
There's a
side.
whole
Just
thing.
point at
There's a
it. I'm
whole
like, that's
thing of
pretty
comments
funny.
for us.
Why don't you just read the comment, Jose?
Morgan is Scottish. Cold rain gives him like plus 15 goal prowess. I think that's pretty funny. Maybe chuckle.
Great.
But yeah, going to what Chow was saying about that he's worried about Messi when he's not playing. What the thing is, Chow, I don't know if that would have been such a big issue for us if our two main guys that are helping Busi maintain the middle they were also out. So it's not so much as Messi's out, but it's also Redondo was out and Gomez was out. And
How crazy is that we can get to a point where like, oh, it wasn't that Messi was out, it's that Gomez and Redondo were out. Like that's mind-boggling that we've gotten to a point now in this team structure that we can kind of say, oh no, these supplemental pieces are huge now for us. And that's great that when we have them, we can kind of withstand without Messi and Chow. I think that I kind of cut Jose off, but I think that's part of it. It's that we have a good enough core now that without Messi, we can kind of hold our own. Of course, with Messi, we're elevated to new heights unseen in the league. So I think it's promising that if we have everybody healthy and ready to go, including Messi, this team is amongst the best in the league and amongst the best in the hemisphere, for being honest, as long as everybody is healthy and running.
Okay, let me pose a question off of that. Okay.
Pose it, Jose.
I will pose it. So if Messi were to have played today, would we have been looking at a different result?
Maybe.
Think about how the game went. They were high pressing us. We could not get the ball up. Maybe Messi would have gotten up once or twice. But I don't know if the problem was also that we didn't have backups to our starters, right? Like Sunderland, bro, and I like Sunderland. He was totally like lost today, totally lost. So he wasn't.
I don't love Sunderland. I've seen he
like
shows
him.
you some stuff, but he doesn't have it all together. He's a far
young.
cry from Redondo. Far cry from Redondo.
No. But he's a youngin, so I kind of expect that. What I'm saying is like we also didn't have Ruiz. We don't have Crema. There's a lot of players that we don't have that if Redondo and Gomez were to go to international play, that we sometimes would have somebody to fill in. I mean, we had to sign Bright today randomly. You know what I mean?
We have to do this right now.
How many guys did we sign off? We signed an additional 3
Oh, you can
players.
elevate guys from your academy. But Bright was a draft pick that they hadn't actually signed. So this was it. They had to finally decide to draft him just for this. But yeah, I do believe that with Messi, like if Messi had played in this one, I don't know if the result is any different. Well, 4-0.
Messi changes not just our ability to attack it; it changes how the other team plays entirely. Because the attention that they have to pay to him, it reduces what they can do everywhere else because they're constantly trying to monitor where he is with 1, 2, 3, 4 players at times. So it changes how effectively they counter. It changes how they cover other players. Like maybe Campana and Suarez find more space because Messi's sort of just roaming around. It changes a lot of things when Messi's playing, not just our ability to take the ball up and beat a press. It's not just as simple as that.
Which is nice when you have Gomez and Redondo because they individually can affect the game by themselves. They can beat press. They can move off of the ball. They're not scared on ball, which unfortunately you see it when you have these inexperienced players. They're kind of scared on the ball. And I think that's why Gomez playing in the Olympics was so huge because it helped him grow. It helped him say he was a team leader there. So he has that maturity now. He has the confidence to say, I'm going to go for it. This is my game. I'm going to play my style. and screw it. And we see it now when he does play for us. It's amazing. And yeah, just let the horses run. But yeah, today it stinks that we didn't have anybody to really take over. And Chris said it, that Gressel had to be that guy. Early on, I kind of thought he was doing good things, and the way he was making turns and kind of beating the press, but he couldn't maintain it. It can't just be Gressel. Gressel isn't the caliber player to take over a match like this.
It just felt if it was so frustrating, because even going down 1-0, like I felt that our team, without Gomez, without Redondo, without Messi, without a bunch of these players, I still felt like we were good enough to make this a match. And it was just really frustrating because the way in which they went about their attack didn't suit the conditions. Like when it was raining hard and the field was holding up really well, but playing these intermediate to long passes was not the way to go. And that's where Tata really failed the team. Is he should have been like, guys, switch from that. I understand they're doing press, but like quick 1-2 passes, which is exactly what New York did to us. And it was so effective. And we were passing the ball well. It was just when we got into the attacking third, it was like, all right, let me try a pass that, goes to the second person rather than just the first person, the easy pass that just opens up a little window of space. Like they were trying to do too much rather than just playing really simple, really sharp, because the long balls were just so inaccurate and it just killed any momentum that we developed. And eventually New York just kept breaking us down, and they just kept beating us down.
They made us play a game that we don't play. We're not.
We can't play that way in those conditions without the players that we were missing, because I think we can. Like if we had full strength,
but it's
I think
natural. That's not our natural way of playing. We want a slow build up. We want one of those things where we're dangerous when Messi has it in the middle, or one of these, or Redondo or Gomez has it up the middle, and they're dribbling it up the pitch. They hit it to the outside with one of their wingers, and it's much slower than that. Today,
the game that I went to wasn't a slow build-up game. The one that we won 5-0, well, that wasn't a slow build-up game. That was just us putting the pedal to the metal and getting after them.
Yeah,
like this team, as presently constructed, they can get after people. They don't have to do that. What they did last season of just pass the ball, and wait for the crack. They don't have to do that anymore. This team has horses. They can run.
Yeah, Shoes. We're definitely saying that we got outcoached. Yes.
Yeah, and we're allowed to get after the game by doing the quick passes too, like going through the middle and going quickly. It like doing a quick 1-2 helps you beat the press, and all of a sudden you get Redondo turning a defender in the midfield and then like running at the defense, and that's when we were at our most dangerous the last 2-3 games, when Redondo really started getting into the flow of things, and same for Gomez. Today that just wasn't there. It was just like passing to the wings, and then the wingers would play it back around, get to the other side, and then hit like an intermediate pass or try to cross it into the box, and it was just like banging your head against the wall.
And in previous matches, you would see players make runs, and usually, like sometimes the runs would lead to nothing, but it was nice to see the runs being made because it creates space and chances and creates miscommunication in the defense going forward. They remember this guy was making a run before, so they feel like they have to hold back. I didn't notice anybody making any kind of runs in this match. I don't know if there was lack of planning or just a breakdown in morale on this one. Every single time that they had a turnover, you could just see the people get deflated, and that's why Campana makes a silly pass deep in the attack, and they kind of come like a hot knife through butter all the way across the pitch without anybody kind of getting in their way. It's sad because I understand you don't have Messi, and usually Messi uplifts everybody, but you got to have a little more pride. This team has to have more fight in them because you can't get smoked like this. And you knew it was bad. You knew it was bad when Luis Suarez, to begin the match, is looking like he's shivering cold. He looked like an abandoned dog.
He looked miserable coming out in the second half. Miserable.
No, but even from the first,
he would have not looked miserable though.
Luis Morgan looked like he was having a blast. Let me tell you,
he's Scottish, plus 15 scoring prowess.
He's a water type.
I mean, look, ultimately, I don't want to blame the players though, Dave. That's the only thing, because if my take, which is what I think, did we have more talent on the field than they did? I think we did. So if I think we had more talent than they did, that leads me to believe that we just didn't put them in the right spots. That leads me to believe further that the coach didn't put them in the right spots. Robert Taylor has shown that he's not a wing back. He's showed it to us last year. We tried this already. And we were even making fun of him. Oh, he's tinkering. We've already seen this already. It didn't work. So we know where he's good. He's a good left. He's pretty good at left wing back. At left wing. Yeah, he's pretty good. He can play well. Does it mean he's going to take over? Sometimes he does. Sometimes he goes completely flat. I think today he was more detrimental than anything, because I didn't think he was very good. I'm not blaming it on him though, right? I'm just saying, like, he didn't necessarily fix anything. You know what I mean? He didn't add anything. Then you move up. You also move Gressel out of his spot. Perhaps if you would have left him at a right wing back, maybe that would have been solid. You would have leave it at the 4-3-3, and you would have had on the top who we've been using, Robert Taylor on the left wing. And just try and keep it as much continuity as possible. And that was my issue.
I think that we keep harping that Tata, and I see the comments blowing up that Tata sucks or whatever. But again, it still goes back to Tata. I think if we would have, like you said, put Gressel right wing back, put Taylor as the second striker with Luis Suarez, I think we would have seen a lot more attacking chances. Because like Julio said a little while ago, we saw Suarez at some point drifting out to like the left wing and just weird situations that then honestly Robert Taylor could have done that and probably created a little more chance, let Luis Suarez stay inside the box or stay up in the attack. And maybe we could have gotten something out of it, because Campana obviously had a very off game. He couldn't get any passes anywhere. And so I just think that in itself would have fixed some of the attack. And again, it goes back to coaching. Because he made the decisions to put the players where they were at, and it did not work out.
I think I know how to solve this. I think we should sell Campana. Just sell Campana and buy Paulo Dybala.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Genius.
I'm game.
Okay.
That's
it. What does that fix right now, David? What does that solve right now, David?
We will score more goals, and we won't have Campana floundering and just pussyfooting around like he doesn't do anything. I've never seen a more timid striker.
Tony's right. Dybala's always injured. Next. Yeah, Shoes is right too.
We don't want him.
Get Beckham in there. See what happens.
Anyways, with the team as currently constructed, we have Campana for the foreseeable future. We have Suarez for the foreseeable future. We have all these players for the foreseeable future. So hopefully let's just say I'm excited to get our players back, because today was just too much to overcome. Unfortunately, when the lineup came out, I still felt very confident that we had enough against a Red Bulls team that was equally depleted. I didn't think Lewis Morgan was going to hit us with the revenge game of his life, but I still thought we had enough.
He took this game personal. He was so mad.
You would think he would celebrate if he took it so personally. At least he didn't celebrate.
He was just mad.
Yeah. But that said, like, I still take our team over most in the MLS, if not all. Columbus is obviously a very good team. They dropped points, luckily for us, against Charlotte. But it's just so frustrating. Like, I just left this match frustrated because we have the players, we have the ability. It's frustrating to say that, like, oh, we didn't have these players, but neither did Red Bulls, so I don't really put too much weight on that. They dealt with the same weather that we did. We just played a style that didn't suit the situation. Really annoying.
We just need to hold the rope.
Yeah, imagine we could sell Campana and buy Morgan.
Morgan burned the boats when he left Miami.
Great. So now we play the other New York team this coming Saturday, a week from today. Hopefully we take out our frustrations on them. And then after that game is the first leg against Monterrey, if I'm not mistaken. So we need to right the ship. Yeah, no kidding. We need to right the ship very, very quickly here. We need to get the players back in. Everyone needs to get up to speed. We have no idea on the availability of Messi, which obviously is a big needle mover. So I'm not super worried that we can't move on from this, because next match our squad's going to look completely different, being that our midfield, which is the strength of this team right now, is really going to change how we're able to play and how effective we are in what we do. But we need to get in shape, because Monterrey is maybe, we talked about, the best team in the hemisphere. They may be actively the best team in the hemisphere. We have the ability to be, but they may actively be. So that's going to be just a tremendous challenge for this team. And this was not a step in the right direction, obviously. Chris, anything to add?
No, the game left me kind of speechless today, so we're good. No extras. I'll stay here for the preview. Actually, I'm not going to be here for the preview. Whatever.
This guy,
Wow.
another Panther game. This guy.
Okay, so yeah, we will have a preview out for the NYCFC match sometime this week. Chris will be out of town, so he won't be joining us.
Panthers have an away game.
Yeah, exactly. In international waters. So Dave, Jose, and myself will be discussing what the match against NYCFC looks like. We played them last season, I believe, after Messi joined, not in the Leagues Cup, in league play. So that should be fun. That match is at home, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we'll probably be dropping that on Wednesday. We'll do a live in all likelihood. So we hope to see everyone that's hanging out in the chat again. And for those of you still listening and still hanging out, thank you guys so much for supporting us. We've seen a lot of orders come through the online store. So again, if you guys are interested, we have some really cool merch available. Check out the link in the description. Just some cool stuff to rock the Heron Heads name and get the word out there. Any predictions to when Messi is back? No idea whatsoever, and I don't want to guess to put misinformation out there. So we will get some.
We always get it wrong, and everybody always gets it wrong. Until he decides to get in, we're always going to get it wrong.
Exactly. So in the spirit of not giving misinformation, I'm not going to venture a guess, but thank you guys for tuning into the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami, and we will catch you on the next one. Hope you guys have a good night.
We'll be right back.